The little girl immediately noticed that the female secretary was pregnant, and that the secretary was still pursuing her father, the CEO. She quickly cast a spell to open his heaven's eye. When he saw the fetus inside the secretary's belly, the CEO was so furious that he spat out a mouthful of blood. Seeing this, the little girl cast the heaven's eye again, and discovered that her father's body was poisoned with a deadly toxic needle. She immediately took out a healing pill and made her father take it. She cast another spell to remove the toxic needle wrapped in black aura. Instantly, her father's legs, which had been disabled for 10 years, were healed. At that moment, the CEO realized that this long-lost daughter of his was no ordinary person. It turned out that the little girl had been training in magic with her master in a Taoist temple since childhood. However, she had an enormous appetite, nearly bankrupting the temple with her food consumption. Her master had no choice but to reveal her true background. Her father was the CEO of the $100 billion Lu Group. Moreover, her father was suffering from a terminal illness and needed her help to save him. Hearing this, the little girl became very worried. With the magical tools her master had given her and photos of her parents in hand, she set out with her senior brother to leave the mountain. As soon as they descended, she encountered a kidnapping incident. Initially, the little girl had no intention of getting involved, but as a practitioner, she ultimately decided to save the person first. She quickly found the kidnapper's hideout. Using the magical tools her master had given her to immobilize the kidnappers, then she revealed her extraordinary abilities. Seeing this, the kidnappers panicked and fled. The little girl didn't know that the man she saved was the chairman of Lux Group. She hurriedly traveled to Lu's group to look for her father. Meanwhile, the CEO of Lu Group, who had been suffering from a long-term illness, was struggling to find a famous doctor to treat his condition when suddenly, the little girl appeared in his office. Upon seeing him, she immediately ran over and shouted, "Dad, I finally found you." The CEO was confused and didn't understand what was going on. The little girl explained that she had come down from the mountain to save him. At this point, the female secretary chimed in, saying that even the best doctors couldn't cure the CEO's illness, and she didn't believe a little girl who was pretending to be mystical could help. The little girl immediately sealed the secretary's mouth with magic, silencing her. Then, sensing something was wrong with the medicine the secretary had brought, the little girl shouted that the medicine was poisoned. The secretary immediately accused the little girl of slandering her, and then coquettishly told the CEO that she would never harm him. The CEO also believed that the little girl was just causing trouble and asked her to leave. At this point, the little girl noticed that the secretary was pregnant. The secretary nervously denied it, saying she was not pregnant. The next second, the little girl used her magic to make her father open his heaven's eye. The CEO saw that, indeed, there was a fetus in the secretary's belly. He was confused about how this had happened. When the CEO's brother walked in, the secretary immediately ran into his arms. That's when the CEO realized that the secretary was carrying his brother's child, and that the earlier kidnapping of the chairman had been orchestrated by his brother, to use the chairman's life as leverage to force the CEO to transfer the company to him. Seeing that the CEO was unwilling to sign the transfer agreement, the brother arrogantly declared that the CEO had a terminal illness and the company would eventually be his. The CEO, in turn, told his brother that the little girl was his daughter, and that when he died, the company would be handed down to her. This infuriated the brother. The brother had originally planned to teach the CEO and his daughter a lesson after the chairman passed away. But the next second, the kidnappers called him, telling him that the chairman had been rescued by a little girl. Upon hearing this, the brother immediately left with the secretary. The CEO thanked the little girl for helping him out. When the assistant was ordered to send the little girl away, the girl refused, declaring that the CEO was her father. The CEO explained that he wasn't married, so how could he have a daughter? To prove it, the little girl was going to show the president the jade pendant she carried with her. But then she remembered that she had dropped it earlier when saving the chairman. She rushed back to search for the pendant. She was confronted by the CEO's brother and the kidnappers in the factory.